Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. So who's going to win in 2024? We have the first prediction from a major historian, and let's just say, according to him, 2024 is going to be a year like no other. So make sure to share this video with friends and family, and let's dive right in. The Scottish-American historian Niall Ferguson has come out and predicted that President Trump will indeed most likely win it all in 2024. The Stanford University professor turned heads in a recent op-ed for The Spectator, where he laid out one of the more comprehensive cases for why he believes Trump will win a second term. It's a bit of a long piece, and I want to break his arguments down for you because I think they're very, very good, and you can share them with your friends. First and foremost, what I really appreciated about this prediction is that Ferguson recognizes precisely what we recognized early on when Trump was first indicted by the corrupt Soros-backed Manhattan DA. We predicted on our live stream Friday program that that indictment was going to backfire big time. And that's exactly what Ferguson argues is actually happening as we speak. All that's happening as a result of all this lawfare, this weaponized legalism, is Trump's numbers are going up and his fundraising is skyrocketing. And again, we predicted this would happen. Remember, the Trafalgar Group found that 79% of likely voters believe that we live in a two-tier justice system that deliberately benefits some at the expense of others. So that includes 77% of independents. So 8 in 10 likely voters believe we have a compromised justice system that operates by double standards. This indictment and the recent jury decision are easily seen by a significant number of those 8 in 10 as blatant examples of an unfair legal system that's being weaponized to deliberately hurt people. So Ferguson thinks that all of this lawfare is ironically working in Trump's favor. But then he gives two arguments, two interrelated arguments that have convinced him that Trump is going to win in 2024. And these are the arguments that are so key here. But you know, we've got another prediction out there, and that's coming from a number of financial experts who are predicting that things are about to blow. The economy is sputtering out of control, and you need to prepare now for the economic catastrophe that may indeed be right around the corner. And all that means that there's never been a better time to protect your assets with the timeless value of gold and silver. And that is where our good friends over at Goldco come in. Click on that link below and learn the 3 simple steps you can take right now to protect your savings the way patriots throughout the centuries have always protected their assets, and that's with gold and silver. In fact, Goldco are patriots just like us, and they're offering up to $10,000 in free silver while supply lasts. So don't wait. Click on that link below or visit my special website, turleytalkslikesgold.com. Now, let's start with Trump's prospects for winning the Republican nomination, because obviously, if he doesn't win the nomination, then all the rest of this is moot. So, first, Ferguson notes that Trump is hands down the leader in the increasingly crowded Republican field. He's beating DeSantis by an average margin of nearly 30 points, 52 to 22. I mean, when you compare that to Trump's lead, when was it back in January where he led by only 13 points? Again, that was still a significant lead. But that 13-point lead has just exploded over the last few months, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. So, interestingly, we have another predictive indicator here, and that's the fact that the early front runners generally win Republican primaries. The early frontrunner has won Republican primaries in 6 out of 8 competitive races since 1972, when the modern system of primaries was introduced. Democrat primaries are a bit more ambiguous, but when it comes to Republican primaries, generally speaking, they're fairly predictable. Who's ever the first to lead, to break out in the lead, that person almost always goes on to win the nomination. So as far as Ferguson's concerned, Trump's got this. I mean, he's got the nomination. It's all wrapped up. It's a virtual given at this point. But now, what about Biden? Here's the second argument. What about old bumbling Biden? Well, for Ferguson, the big issue for Biden, more than anything else, historically speaking, for a sitting president, the major issue is the R word, recession. Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary, he has a pretty good forecasting track record. He saw inflation coming several months before it hit. He's predicting, Larry Summers, he's predicting with a 70% probability that we'll be in a major recession within the next year. And he's hardly alone on that. The bank failures that we've been seeing over the last few months are simply underscoring the deep financial crisis that appears to already be upon us. Now, why is that important in terms of forecasting elections? Simply put, no Democrat president since FDR, and no president period since Calvin Coolidge a century ago, has secured re-election if a recession has occurred in the 2 years before the nation votes. I'll say that again because that's so key to this prediction. No president in the last 100 years has been successfully re-elected if a recession has occurred in the last 2 years before the presidential election. So this is why the Biden White House is panicking. This is why the legacy media has thus far refused to use the R word. They know it's a death knell for incumbent presidents seeking re-election. And so Ferguson, the historian, simply puts 2 and 2 together here. As he puts it, quote, "The lesson of history is clear. The Republican frontrunner usually wins the nomination, and a post-recession incumbent usually loses the presidential election." And that is why he sees Trump going all the way in 2024. Now, of course, anything can happen, gang. And we're now in a new era of ballot harvesting and mail-in voting that the Republicans are going to have to master. But if they do, and Trump has already said that they're going to crush it on ballot harvesting like we've never seen before, if that's the case, then it does look like we may be seeing the single greatest political comeback imaginable in 2024. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on the 5 biggest moments of Trump's CNN town hall. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.